Scott, the Pirates had a chance to warm up for this week's Northwest Conference tournament with a duel against Whitman yesterday down in Pasco. Talk about how that went.
Sure. Well, it went fantastic. Between you and I, we might need to do a little research to find out if a school record or two was broken yesterday. I'm not sure if it was, but the intention of it was to get a few guys that haven't been getting as much playing time in the starting lineup, some extra playing time. And also, as we're trying to come up with our lineup for the conference championships, to have these final qualifying rounds being more of a tournament setting. So we're trying to get the guys who are playing the best at the most important time to be in the lineup. So we were supposed to play Lewis and Clark State a couple different times over last week, and we couldn't agree on a date, time, location. So Skip, the Whitman coach, is always willing to make adjustments. So we found a worthy opponent and a neutral site to play, and we went down yesterday. The guys played fantastic. I mean, Sam Pauley bogeyed the first hole while kind of recovering from the flu, and then birdied 8 of his next 17 to shoot a 7 under par 65. I'll have to say the weather was not nice. It wasn't horrific, but it was rainy and windy, and the greens had been punched recently, so there was actually quite a bit of things to complain about if you wanted to find reasons to complain, and instead the guys played great. And then we had a 69 out of Jacob Raleigh and a 70 out of Caden Martinson and a 72 out of Matthew Durkin to make a 12 under par round for 18 holes is quite remarkable. And then even down through towards the bottom of the lineup, I mean, we had several rounds at par under. So just if it was supposed to be a tune-up, is exactly what happened, which is good.
So where does this leave you now in terms of figuring out your lineup for the championship tournament?
Sure. So it's 2:08. We tee off for the final 9 holes at around 4 o'clock today, and there's a couple guys within a couple shots of each other to pretty much round out the 5th spot. The 4th spot is still under qualifying, but he has a pretty reasonable lead with only 9 holes to go. So the top 3 is set. The 4th is almost locked in, and then a couple really talented guys who have just been fighting. I mean, it's probably close to 72 or 81 holes of qualifying by the time we're done. So it should be a good, example of who's playing the best, over a longer period of time. And it's going to take a 5-person effort for sure at conference. And it's always good to have a little buffer where the score that's thrown out is also a good score. So if someone does have a hiccup, we have a little backup there.
Talk about this weekend, the Oregon Golf Association course. How does it play in terms of our game, our strengths, our weaknesses, and the 2 big opponents, Whitman and Willamette?
Sure. I was surprised to see they're playing it quite a bit shorter than I would like personally. I think oftentimes a shorter course brings the competition a little bit closer together, which is maybe what they're going for. So I anticipate it being a shootout. I think there's a potential to see some incredibly low scores, which is obviously reflective of the talent in our conference. So trying to figure out the golf stat algorithm, but I mean, I know for a fact that Whitworth, Whitman, and Willamette are 3 of the top 25 teams in the country, and it doesn't matter really what rankings say. I know that, and I know that you have to just play, incredible golf to win these tournaments. And the cool part and the scary part is that we could play fantastic and still not win. But it's also, as a competitor, that's what you want. I mean, as nice as it is to know, at the end of a basketball game or a soccer game, you have a big enough lead where you're probably going to win. There's also, as a competitor and as an athlete, you like that drama towards the end and kind of where separates, the people that feel uncomfortable in an uncomfortable environment. So the course playing a little shorter. There's a potential for rain and wind. I've been looking at the forecast for months leading up to this, and it's been as high as like 70 with no rain, 51 and rain. I mean, it changes every day, just kind of like it does here. So that if we get some incremental weather, then I could see the scores being a little bit higher. But I'm anticipating it being a shootout. It sits well for our game. There's some wide open holes where you can kind of hit it wherever you want, and there's some other holes that have some out of bounds and some water and things like that. We've played it once since I've been the coach here, and we had a crazy shootout in the Fall Classic the year that COVID shut down the spring season. And I believe on that final round, we were probably close to 10 under or so there under some great conditions. So I do believe that we have a chance to play really well, and the guys are really confident and excited about the opportunity, and all you really want at the end of a season, whatever your sport is, just a chance to to continue to move on. And we're definitely in that position right now.